So hedge funds de-risked aggressively in tech during last week's sell-off. The de-risking over the past 2 weeks has been the largest since July and ranks in top 4 risk-off events in the past 5 years.
Yeah. And what this really means is there was just a lot of selling. I now see a lot of graphics like this all the time, but this one is very telling for a couple of reasons. The people who are selling. So the hedge funds are liquidating at highs. They're looking to get back in at different prices. But then when Buffett is selling, part of it is legacy and succession planning, but that does have a factor. Jamie Dimon has sold a bunch of stocks. Alex sold a bunch. So like when people of a certain ilk are selling, it's not for tax planning or tax loss harvesting and all. There's something coming. And I always look for 2 things. Asymmetric risk. So if I buy here, do I have a chance of going up 5 or 7x? At this current price, we don't. Number 2, are the headwinds or the economy so strong that we're almost guaranteed gains? No. So I think there's something there. And also, I think we're seeing the end of the Max 7. Remember like when it was like Gary Payton and Karl Malone on the Lakers that year with Kobe? That's what we are in the Max 7. It's like, it looks great on paper. Oh, phenomenal. But when it's time to actually play, I don't know if the Max 7 over the next 3 or 4 years are going to give the return that they used to. And there may be time to restructure what the primary positions are going forward.
Yeah,
I think out of there if OpenAI becomes public.
If you look at how those companies have performed, you can understand why, right? Like, how many years is nvidia going to perform or have 110% growth? How many times is Microsoft going to have an 80% growth over 2 years? And so, it makes sense when you see the potential of what they've done over the past 2 to 3 years. I would say probably since the pandemic, as to what they are now saying that they're going to spend, and they don't know the return on the investment yet.
Yep.
And so you want to be protective, right? You want to be cautious, and you want to make sure that you have risk mitigation if you're a hedge fund. So, yeah, I get it. Does it mean that tech is not going to lead the way? No. I think tech obviously still leads the way, but these companies have had a historic run. NVIDIA for sure, even Apple, right? Like Tesla, like we've seen that grow from 80 to now over 340, or when it was in its peak after the inauguration over 400. So yeah, there'll be some that they pull out of, but I would be interested to see, now that they've shortened those positions, what are the positions that they are now allocating money to? Like, that's always the next thing, right? Because they're going to want to see the maximum growth over a term, whether it's 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. And so it's just a reallocation.
Yeah. Quick question for you. If Elon go grab a GoPro and him and Donald Trump going to Fort Knox and they discover all that gold isn't there, like I told everybody 3 years ago, what sectors are going to be most affected and fall apart?
If the gold is not there, what does that do to the dollar?
No good. Not good.
And
gold will shoot up to the roof. I mean, we think gold is hitting highs now. Shout out to 19 Keys. Gold may go to 15,000.
So why would that be negative to the dollar?
Troy?
No, I'm asking. I want to know. Right. So I make sense. If this gold's not there, then that means there's less gold in supply, which means that the gold will go up. What's the relationship to the dollar and gold?
There is no relationship.
There is no correlation anymore, but now you have 2 currencies, one being Bitcoin and then second being gold, that have a higher value than the dollar and may drive the dollar down. And I think, because there are some loans that are done based off of gold, I think that's mid-sized banking industry is done forever in the United States.
But you said, but Bitcoin and gold, those aren't currencies though.
You let the interwebs tell what Bitcoin is.
Store value.
It's the end all be all of cryptocurrency. So,
I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see. Elon Musk is not going to bring a camera crew in and there's not going to be no gold, and that's not going to happen. So there's going to be gold there.
There's not gold over there right now.
Yeah. They're gonna if there's not gold there, they're going to make sure there is gold there when they have their tour.
Yeah.
Props.
It's a 0% chance that they take a tour of Fort Knox and it has no gold in it.
Yeah.
This is 0% chance of that happening.
Yeah.
They're not going to have a camera crew. I just don't think they do it.
I mean, they might. Trump said he wanted to do it with a camera crew. So, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility, but I think if they do it, it'll be more of a PR stunt to just
So that is there.
boost the confidence in America. But I don't see that happening. With gold not being
if you let Elon's son wipe a bug on his, he not.
What's the name? Idris Elba did it in London.
Well, they have gold.
They took him down there.
No, they have gold. America has gold.
Yeah.
Why would America not have gold?
Gold all in my chain.
I'm not saying that we don't. I'm just saying that I don't think he's going to bring a camera crew to be the grand reveal of it. It's going to be like broadcast TV, and it's going to be like, oh, look at how much we have, and who knows if it's real or whatever. It is what it is. It's all the marketing.
Tune the blackout. We were not going to talk about this either, but
tune in the blackout.
Trinidad James.
And we got to talk about Trump's attack on the FCC on blackout also.
Yes.
So, okay. Warren Buffett's cash pal, we talked about this. 334 billion. But even outside of that, you talked about this a few times today as far as, are we headed into a negative territory for the stock market? Should traders start to sell off their positions? Are we headed towards a downward spiral?
I think we're going to have a lot more pressure this year. I think April and May could be tough. Definitely going into InvestFest, like how it was last year, the market will be down. I think the summer will be rough. I think by the end of the year, that cohort of leadership will figure out power structure and what to do and have a clear roadmap, because there isn't a clear roadmap. Like you said, it changes week by week, kind of, or based on who he's talking to. And the market doesn't like uncertainty. I don't think you should sell off your positions. If you got in at a bad price, maybe liquidate and get back in at a better price. But the part that isn't being talked about in Warren's decision-making, clearly, Charlie passed, that's having an impact on how things are run. Because Charlie was a big part of Berkshire. He may not get the credit for it, but he was a vital part to that organization and friend. And Warren is getting older. I don't know how many more years he'll be able to run that ship. So I think he's trying to equip the new leader with all the cash and tools that he needs to be a great leader. Now, having that amount of cash on hand allows you to buy some companies, whether they're publicly or privately traded. So I think that's good, but I think it's just a changing of the guard. And also, if he's been holding that VO position for 5 or 6 years, you got a great return. It's time to liquidate and cash out. So with this leadership not being the strongest, not having a clear roadmap, the market being at all-time highs, it's a good time to take profit if you're unsure and wait till the market is calm and you have a clear roadmap for what's going to happen over the next 4 or 5 years. So no, should you sell your positions? Not now.
Should traders sell their positions? Or maybe I ask you that question. If you're in an options call, because if you invest in long term, it doesn't matter. Right? We encourage dollar cost averaging. So you're supposed to invest when the market is up, and when the market is down, you're always supposed to invest and hold long positions. But you can get burnt very badly on a stock that's a stock option, because that's limited. That's a limited time. Even if it's a leap, it's still a limited time. And then there's time decay. So should people start trimming their option positions?
It depends on what the company is. I think you got to use days like Friday and days like a month ago when we saw the entry point, right, as your entry point. That becomes the most important thing. And
but then you bought a dip, and then it dips again.
Well, that's what I said. Depends on the company you're in, right? Because if it hits a support level that you already are anticipated, and it goes again and hits first and second support level, then you're like, okay, this is my entry point. Now, could it dip lower? Yeah, it could. This is why I always use time as that variant. So even now, like I have these calls out to 2027 January. Some of the March 27 calls are out. I'm looking like, all right, I'm taking into account the volatility that may happen. So if I'm looking at Warren Buffett's portfolio and I'm in those companies and he's selling, yeah, that might be a catalyst event that I might have to wait for this to pull back even lower to enter. But you got to have your strategy before you enter the game. And so look at the company, right? Look at where you're going to enter it and be disciplined, right? You're not going to catch it on the way up. I know a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, if we don't get pound to here, it's going to run to 200. Well, this is why you got to be patient and know your spot. Where you enter the position is going to be the most important thing. And invest in long term or invest in options. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're interested in trading, especially on the futures market, when you have volatility and the market is tilting down, you can make more money on the drops. Like it's almost the 10-year anniversary of my August 24, 2015 trade. Some of my best days have been when the market has been falling apart like they did Friday. Trading has considerable risk, of course, but if you know your targets, like it's easy now to get 100-something ticks out the NASDAQ. But the thing is to not overtrade, not jump your position if you miss your move and your entry, not to chase another one. But stick to the game plan.
All these moves, it just puts more pressure on nvidia to perform, I feel like. Right. It's like nvidia, please come save the day again. It used to be Apple that would save us, and now, well, quote unquote save us, but it feels like it's nvidia now, right? So like the market will move if nvidia has a great, well, I guess it's relative what great is anymore, but as long as it doesn't underperform, you'll start to see some upside. So
when is that? 28th?
On Wednesday, 26th.
Yeah, Wednesday.
26th. Yeah, so we got a few. I'll go over the earnings a little bit later, but yeah, you always the 26th is always circled on the calendar. Once they said that's it, it'll be reporting.
I